The meaning of the movie author Orpheus to read 5 minutes published 9.12. 2019 updated 11.12. 2019 The movie, Dilda, tells about two women who went through the whole war. They intend to return to a peaceful life, because all the hardships and deprivations are behind them. But how to do this, if not only around, but also in the soul is only ruins? A touching story of two women who despite everything dream of finding their happiness. What is the movie, Dilda, about? It is not by chance that men are considered the stronger sex. They are able to withstand everything that falls to their share. Women and children are more difficult. Especially in war. Delicate fragile girls, having graduated from school, took in their hands automatic rifles and went to the enemy. Simple girls became ruthless soldiers. Their duties included bandaging the wounded, and blowing up tanks, and shelling enemy troops. A time of great hardship, difficulties and problems for the sake of the great victory. Post-war Leningrad. Autumn 1945. The fate of the protagonist cannot be called simple. Aya has to struggle with sudden attacks of stupor. She works in the hospital, where she was nicknamed Dilda. Aya has a small son Pashka, born at the front. Everyday endless affairs, routine events, a series of problems and difficulties. One day the usual routine was broken. To the heroine in a visit came a combat friend. Masha is determined. She intends to take away from Aya what rightfully belongs to her. The meaning of the movie, Dilda, the war in this movie is in the past. Only the pain from these terrible events does not let go. Women and children suffered the most in the war. Gradually the wounds are healed, but one awkward movement, and the memories are again refreshed in the memory. At the most inopportune moment, a sharp burning pain pierces the soul. Masha's arrival. In the lives of two friends comes a period filled with diametrically opposite emotions. Boundless love, desire to help under any circumstances, contempt, cruelty. Each heroine has her own color. Life peaceful green belongs to Aya. Maria, who with all her thoughts is still at war, corresponds to blood red. These colors appear suddenly. It is in that period of time when something important happens in the lives of heroines. This is a kind of signal. The audience empathizes with the protagonist. Mutilated soul, lack of reference points. How to recover from the war. How to mend the wounds of the soul. In many scenes, the director gives the audience the opportunity to think about what is happening. The drawn-out episodes, the emotions on the characters' faces speak for themselves. Decadent state of mind. A huge generation of people found themselves in front of the ruins. Soul wounds are constantly bleeding. Where is the further purpose of existence? The meaning of life is simply absent for many. Suffering and loss have crippled the women. But they have a choice, mourn their bleak situation or find the strength to return to the life they dreamed of before the war. The women who were strong in spirit chose the second option. The characters are not only trying to recreate their city, which looks like ruins, they hope to regain their younger years, full of hopes, joyful expectations, aspirations. Harsh reality has crippled the souls of women. Heroines for their short life have seen so much grief that you can go crazy. Cruelty, indifference, ruthlessness could forever extinguish the fire of faith and hope in the souls of characters. However, they found strength in themselves and overcame the hardship. The movie, Dilda, shows the collective images of the characters. Each has his own story, his own fate, his own trials. This terrible tragedy touched every family. Many lost loved ones and relatives, the meaning of further existence. After the war, some people did not know where to return to. The terrible grief took everything from them. But with his movie, the director demonstrated that the strength of the human spirit is indestructible. No matter what, one must go forward. Always. Under any circumstances. Everyone deserves a quiet, peaceful life. Especially after the terrible tragedy, which took away everything that people had, leaving them only faith and hope for a bright future. It is important to keep them in your heart. Then any new obstacles and difficulties will not become an obstacle on the way to true happiness. No matter what grief a person faces, it is necessary to remember that the sun will rise again. It always does. The meaning of the finale of the movie, Dilda. This is not a simple story that tells about the life of two battlefield friends in the post-war time. It's a collection of characters who share a common pain, common frightening memories, and common traumas. A strong movie about war, revealing the incredible strength of a simple woman. Different fates, different characters, different views on life. People united by a common grief. The movie, Dilda, about the great victory. About the courage of women who despite the difficulties and obstacles believe in a bright future. Having survived hardships, the heroines hope to find their happiness. The women have faced many trials. But they did not give up, they did not give up. They searched for the strength to go on living. Otherwise, the women would have gone mad. This is not a terrible dream, this is a harsh reality. Everyone has to rely on themselves and their mental strength. If one of them gives up, no one will lift him up. The heroines knew this, so they did not allow themselves to even think that they would not be able to recover for a happy life.